Track 1, 2. Track 1, 2. Gotcha. Perhaps.
Alright, check. I got this on the other side here.
There we go.
Alright, transponder 1200 and set to altitude. Circuit breakers, check that they're still all in. Okay. Flight instruments, waiting for the PFD. Alright, we have zero airspeed, altitude. We'll set with the altimeter, no vertical speed, balls in the center. Okay, ATIS. What is our ATIS frequency?
13255.
12325.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
So just flip that over.
Flip that over
and
monitor it on COM 2.
You can also press mic.
Temperature 282.23, altimeter 3008. Visual approach in use, landing departing runway 9 or right, 9 or left, runway 5. Approaches are being conducted to parallel and converging runways. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. NOTAMs. Runway 9 left PAPI's out of service. Runway 9 or right ILS out of service. VFR departures, advise ground control your direction of flight. Advise initial contact you have Lima. Melbourne International Airport information, Lima, time 1253 Zulu, wind 360 at 7, visibility 10, sky conditions clear, temperature 282.23, altimeter 3008. Visual approach in use, landing departing runway 9 or right, 9 or left, runway 5. Approaches are being conducted to parallel and converging runways. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airport.
All right, just press COM.
NOTAMs. Runway 9 left PAPI's out of service.
Turn off COM 2. There you go.
Okay, so let's set our Barrow here. Barrow, we have 3008. Alright, there's 300.
Yep, so keep going towards 310. It's the first tick before 310.
Alright, so right about there, and we should be about 33 feet, okay? Okay, so we're expecting 9 right.
Yep, I'll pull up the taxi diagram for you here.
Actually, we would be probably 9 left.
9 left,
9 left is what we would be expecting. I've got a printed version here.
Oh, good. I was about to ask, or say, let's start bringing the printed versions of these.
Yeah.
Just for our reference here, so yeah.
Okay, so let's see, we are we're over here.
Yep.
And so we'll likely get taxi to 9 left, so I'm expecting Mike Kilo to 9 left.
Correct.
Alright, so taxi light on, and we use the
the landing light's fine.
light. Do we need it? Okay.
It's not necessary during the day because we can see, but like during twilight hours, it's definitely a good idea.
Okay, and our taxi area is clear.
Yep, right, center, and left.
Okay, parking brake release. Brake and steering check. Okay, brake check.
Yep. Just remember when you do that, power idle first.
Power idle before brakes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then add a little bit of power.
A little bit of power.
And bring it to idle, and that'll test the brakes. Yep.
Okay.
Good. And then steering check, we're going to steer to our run-up area, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I tell you, it feels weird flying with a Bose. It really does. You can add power through the turns.
All right.
Keep the momentum going. It makes it easier to pull the aircraft around.
And I want to straighten out the nose wheel.
Yep.
All right. Toes on the brakes. Parking brake set.
Yep.
Add a little power to test it. Okay. All right. Doors are closed and latched. Fuel selector valve on both. Elevator trim for takeoff.
Base runway 5. Report your circle.
Okay, throttle 1800 RPM, toes on the brakes. $17, 1800 RPM. All right, fuel pump. All right, fuel flow is 7.1 gallons, fuel pressure 4.5, pump on. And we see an increase in both. Pump is coming back off. Engine instruments check. Engine instruments are all in the green.
Yep.
And meter check, 14.4 volts. Magnetos, we're going to do 2 clicks to the left. We're at 1820 RPM.
Oh, go back to both.
Go
that was all the way off.
That was all the way off,
Yeah.
okay.
So 2 clicks left. Try that again.
All right, so...
That looks like you're on left already, so go 1 click to the right, or left.
At Big Blue with information Lima.
I'm going to go back to both.
Yep, so try...
1800, okay, so now 2 clicks goes to the right. We're down to 1720, okay.
Yep.
Back to both. And then we're going to go 1 click to the left. Drop it to 1690, okay.
All right, keep it on left real quick again.
And I'm going to put it back on left, okay.
Feels okay, I'll just... Gotta get those plugs hot every time in this thing. Look at those EGTs.
Oh yeah.
Bring them down a little bit. Alright, that's good, and I'll bring it back to 18 here.
Okay, you want me to set it back to both?
Yeah.
Alright, we're back on mags on both.
Alright, bring it down to 18. And then just try it again, 1 click left to left mag.
All right.
Just see how it is.
1 click left.
Better, much smoother.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, back to both. Carb heat check. Okay, we're at 1800 RPMs. Carb heat's on. We see a drop to 1700. Carb heat back off.
Yep.
Alright, we want to cycle the prop 3 times.
Yep, so first time watch that manifold pressure increase, so all the way out.
Okay, coming all the way out. Manifold and back in. Okay,
Yep.
manifold pressure increase. Okay.
Watch the RPM drop next time.
Okay. Prop out, prop in, okay.
And you can also watch the oil pressure too.
Okay, and oil pressure.
The oil pressure normally drops because we're actually taking engine oil pressure
engine oil and cycling it through the propeller. Okay,
yep.
Great. Okay. All right. Throttle idle check, 1200 RPM. We go all the way to idle?
Yep, go all the way to
Okay.
idle, just
And
check
then,
that it runs.
Okay.
And then back to 1200.
And then back to 1200. Okay, that was...
Yep, and
Okay.
we'll lean this mixture out, keep everything nice and hot.
Okay, we have cowl flaps open. All right, so I want to check flight controls. They're free and correct. So thumbs up, aileron up on the right, and on the left is down. Right aileron is up, left aileron is down. All right, elevator or stabilator goes down. Stabilator up. And rudder check. Rudder right, rudder left. Correct.
That's the one time that mirror's handy.
Yes.
Such an odd thing to have in an aircraft, though.
Okay, throttle friction lock. We're going to have just a little bit of friction. Radios and avionics and nav set. So we have Melbourne Tower on standby, ground on the active, and is this our, what is
That's the practice area.
Practice area is 1230?
Yep,
Okay.
1233, and then ASOS or the ATIS here is 13255. And you can always verify that with the taxi diagram. It always has the frequencies.
Okay.
Yep. For the airport there. It doesn't have the practice area frequency though, that's just one thing that I'll write down for you. We'll put it somewhere. Might even be a good placard in here.
Yeah. Okay. All right, one more check that.
All right, so I'm just going to turn the radio up. Real quick. That's fine.
Seatbelts are fastened.
Seatbelts are fastened.
Flaps and trim are set. So are we going to wait to set 10
Yeah,
degrees
we'll wait.
flaps?
Yeah, to actually get there to set 10. So
Okay.
that's fine.
All right, so takeoff briefing, runway in use, we're expecting 9 left.
Yep.
Plenty of takeoff runway.
How much runway do we have?
So how much runway do we have? On 9 left, 6,000 feet.
Correct, yep.
So, but if we are not airborne by Quebec?
I would say if we're not rotating by Mike. If we're not rotating by Mike, airborne by somewhere in between, we'll abort the takeoff.
Okay.
We should be rotating before Mike.
Okay.
That's a third of the runway.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so, and climb out speed. So we are going to, we're going to take off with 10 degrees of flaps. We're going to climb out at 80 to 85.
Yep.
Okay.
Once
Until we get to 100 feet, then we'll retract the flaps and climb out at 90.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Engine out procedure plan. So we already discussed if we're not rotating by Mike, we're going to abort takeoff. If we have an engine out after takeoff but below 800, 700 feet, we're going to go straight ahead.
Yep, that puts us right to the river,
In that case,
or we
that's
can
the
land
river
on
or US1.
Babcock. Yeah, or
Babcock,
US1.
US1, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if we have an engine out after we reach pattern altitude, or above 800 feet anyhow, we probably have enough that we can, enough altitude we can turn around and land here on 27 left?
Yeah, 27 left or runway 23.
27 left or 23. Okay.
Right, and it'll be my controls in case.
It would be your controls in an emergency, correct.
Pitot heat not
Pitot
required.
heat is not required. Cowl flaps open and we're ready to release parking brakes.
Yep. Okay, so you can start taxiing us over there, and once we get a little closer, I'll call them up.
All right, let me.
Melbourne Ground, Cardinal 34287, Big Blue, information Lima, VFR departure southwest. Pull right over here.
X-Fly 641, Foxtrot Victor to the ramp. X-Fly 602, Melbourne Tower, short delays.
Why do they always seem to get busy when you call them?
Was there somebody else calling inbound? X-Fly 644, Melbourne Tower, runway 9, right, clear to land.
Melbourne Ground, Cardinal 34287, Big Blue, information Lima, VFR departure southwest.
34287, ground 9 left via Mike Kilo.
9 left, Mike Kilo, 34287. All right. And let's pay attention to where the winds are coming from. So they're coming from the north. So it doesn't matter right now. There's no wind correction we can do because we're heading almost directly south. But once we turn on to Kilo taxiway from Mike, remember wind correction for a quartering.
Okay.
It's almost a direct crosswind.
Aileron into the wind.
Yep.
All right. Probably be over on the center line, huh?
Sure. Good bit of rain out here. Clear to the right.
Airport
Clear
17
left.
near the
No,
VOR,
coming up.
requesting luminary access, holding short runway to 6 here.
Airport 17, Melbourne Ground, approved as requested.
Approved, Airport 17.
There we go. And the yoke's not hitting your knees at all in that position? Go ahead and cycle it just to test it out as we're going here.
So it hits my knee board if I need to turn it that way. Let me slow down so I can do two things at once.
Yeah, cockpit management, or cockpit resource management, sometimes a little bit tricky. I can hold the controls if you need to.
All right, let me pull this back. Back just a little bit. There we go. All right.
Remember tower, runway 9 left.
All right. My controls real quick.
Okay, your controls.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and check your seat and make sure it's not going to roll back on you on takeoff.
Okay.
Is that good?
All right.
All right. And if you'd like the controls back, your controls.
All right, my controls.
Your controls.
Right into.
There we go.
79 Delta Bravo, Mauer Tower, enter right base, runway 9 left.
And before we call tower, let's go ahead and once we're holding short and we're stopped, we'll configure for takeoff. With the exception of the mixture, we'll leave mixture to last just because of how rich this engine runs.
All right.
There you go. That's good right there.
All right, toes on the brakes.
Okay, so 1200 RPM, remember for your idle speed. That helps prevent any sort of fouling.
Okay.
So we only test idle just to make sure the engine runs, but otherwise ground idle whenever we're moving around is just going to be 1200.
Okay.
But always pull to like actual idle when we stop, if that makes sense. So idle to stop and then 1200 when we're sitting there. All right, I'll let you run the checklist while I call up ground. Melbourne Tower, Cardinal 34287, hold a short runway 9 left, Kilo ready for departure.
38, 287, correct, 34287, tower, you can cross runway 5 midfield southwest, runway 9 left, clear for takeoff.
9 left, clear for takeoff, 34287. All right, so go ahead and
rich
pitch it up.
slightly.
All right. Flaps 10. Go ahead.
Flaps 10. Okay.
So,
we're
clear.
Tower, you can go south of the airport.
Did he clear us? I was not.
Yeah, he gave us clearance. We're good.
All right.
So what we're going to do is something a little bit interesting here.
Okay.
I'll tell you what to do. So the idea is we're going to cross midfield on runway 5. So let's just get lined up, normal takeoff, and we'll rotate. And once we're at a safe altitude, we'll go ahead and cross midfield to runway 5, which means a turn slightly to the southeast.
Okay.
And it'll make sense when we're in the air. So we're still good.
Okay.
Go ahead, line up with 9 left.
All right, let me get my toes down lower so I don't hit the brakes.
Yep.
Lined up here. Okay. All right. Power coming in.
Yep.
Right rudder.
Very good. Keep directional control. Engine instruments are green.
Engines are then green.
Airspeed's alive.
Airspeed's alive. There's 50, 57, 60, rotate.
Hold. Just gentle controls.
A little nose down.
Yep. And on that throttle. Yeah, just pitch and then throttle. Good. That was really good, man.
Alright, and we are at 80, 82.
5 mile final.
Okay, now go ahead and give us a turn to the southeast.
Left side, 9 left, touch and go, left traffic prior to the VOR on the go.
Alright.
The numbers for
and you can bring the flaps up right now.
Flaps are coming up, okay.
Yep.
Port touching.
Good, we're flying right over midfield or runway 5, as intended.
At flight 638, you will see a Cessna about 2.5 miles ahead to your right at 1,000. They're going direct to the numbers for the left side runway.
Here we go.
Roger.
That was perfect, right over midfield with 5. Alright, now that we're clear to 5, go ahead, just give me a turn to the south. We'll go straight south for a little bit, get out of his hair, and then we'll go on course.
Melbourne Tower,
that's
November
good.
531 Mike Whiskey is 15 miles to the west, 3,200 feet. Requesting full stop landing, 9 left, going to the north hangar. 531 Mike Whiskey.
15 miles, it's pretty far to call away.
Alright, here's 1,000 feet.
Yep.
Alright, so 1,000 feet, I don't have my checklist out. We need 25 inches of manifold pressure.
Yep.
531 Mike Whiskey, roger that. Continue
There's
inbound.
25 and 2,500 on the RPM.
Continuing inbound, 9 left, 1 Mike Whiskey.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, now I'll bug a heading here and you can fly in that direction. Let's do 220.
220, okay.
Raise right wing,
right
clear.
wing, right wing clear, okay, turning right.
Yep. And we'll keep the climb going up to 2,000 feet. So once we get on a heading at 220, all
Okay.
right? It feels nice out today.
Yeah, it does.
65638, circle 5.
Type 563, runway 5, clear to land.
Runway 5, clear to land, type 5638.
All right, and a little bit of cockpit management here. While we're doing this, go ahead and turn the number 2 unit over to the practice area frequency. So you don't have, yeah, go ahead, yep,
okay.
Just that. And we don't have to change frequencies yet. We're going to change once we get outside of his Delta airspace.
Okay.
So generally speaking, the canal that runs all the way across and brings us right to the abandoned, once we pass that canal, we're good to change.
Okay.
Yeah, or once we're above his altitude. I'm just going to get something for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You can just check that when you get a chance. Sure it's pointing the right way.
Well, it's saying hi to me. I'll bring it over this way a little bit so you can see us both. There we go.
Alright. Still on a heading at 220, almost at 2,000 feet. Are we leveling off at 2,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2,000.
2,000, okay.
Let the speed build for a second, start retrimming. There we go. Once we get to about 110 miles an hour, you can reduce
okay. 21 inches and 2,300 RPM. Oh, we're way overshot that.
That's all right.
There's 19, 20, 21, 20. And we're a little bit off on our heading.
So you can see right here,
altitude.
that's the abandoned right here.
There's abandoned. Okay.
Right,
So we are
the dashed blue ring, not the VOR ring, but the dashed blue ring.
Yes.
See how it's right on the outside? So we're clear of the Delta now.
Just now outside of the Delta. Okay.
Yep. So you can go ahead and switch to Mike 2, Com 2.
I heard was your...
Right, Mike 2,
There we go.
2.
Just check this. We're good.
All right.
So while we're flying this way, go ahead and put me in slow flight at 2,000 feet. We're aiming for 60 miles an hour.
All right, slow flight. We're, okay, do we do mixture rich?
No, we're good with that mixture.
Okay, so, but we do want propeller full.
Yep.
And then we want carb heat on. And we want to reduce power and maintain altitude.
Westbound.
There we go.
15 inches of manifold pressure, and we are in the white arc. We're going to start putting in 10 knots for flaps. We're going to go 20 degrees of flaps. And full flaps. And boy, we really slowed down.
Yep.
Feel that. And pitching for 60?
Yes, sir. Pitching
Okay.
for 60.
Alright, and I'm going to add a touch of power here.
So working a little backwards here. Remember, your pitch controls your airspeed and your power controls your altitude.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright.
And I'll make a radio call. Out to West, Prax Air Cardinal 34287 is over. Jet ski lakes 2,000 feet, heading southwest, slow flight.
South 5950 kilo 4 miles northwest of Cypress Lake at northbound.
Alright, and let's go heading 240.
Heading
We're almost over here.
Preparing for slow flight maneuver, India's
240, we're on 236.
We seem to be descending a little bit. Alright, so 240.
Yep.
Hotel West.
Things happen quick. We're going to try and keep it plus or minus 10.
Alright, there's 2.
And 60 miles an hour.
There's 24-ish.
That's alright.
240. Alright, and 60 miles an hour.
Lasers, eastbound 3000, heading up to Lazy 8, outside west traffic.
Alright, once we're clear of this cloud here on the other side, I want you to give me a climb on a heading of 240, 60 miles an hour,
Okay.
2,500 feet.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, we're clear of the cloud.
Clear of the cloud. Okay, so to climb, I'm going to add power and continue to pitch for 60.
There you go. Remember a little bit of right rudder.
A little bit of right rudder.
South Hotel West Cherokee 5950 kilo 2 miles west of Square Lakes at 3000 northbound.
Good job.
Does climb slow at 60.
It does.
Alright, we're getting there though. Alright, staying clear of that cloud. Heading looks good. Right rudder.
Alright, there's 2,500.
Alright.
Cherokee 5950 kilo 4 miles northwest of Square Lakes at 3000 northbound.
There we go, pitching for that 60. Good.
Bravo traffic
Lower
number
that nose.
96 Delta, 4 nautical
Awesome.
miles north of the
Okay.
Lake Point set, headed south at 2500 feet.
Alright. Put me on a heading of west.
Heading of west. Okay.
Alright, we're clear.
I'm gonna clear on the right. Okay, turning right.
27, doing it up, highway
270.
Alright. Maintaining 60.
Alpha traffic, Skyflight 775 at 4500, heading northbound, preparing for steep turn maneuver into the south.
That's alright. There's a lot to look at and a lot to work on. So just go ahead and continue the turn to the right.
Okay.
We're clear to the right. Give me a heading of north.
Heading of-
2,500 feet, 60 miles an hour.
Alright.
North, 360.
West traffic, check 564. Roughly 3 to the west of Red Balls, 3000 to west, setting up for an emergency descent to the north, to the west.
There we go.
Alright, there's north.
Hey firm, we're doing 8-zone pylons over the
Back to
farm.
60.
Raj, we're going to do 8s on over the sod farms if that works with you for Skyflight 438.
Okay, I'll look for you.
Same here.
All right, now give me a left turn to a heading of south, 180.
Left turn to a heading of 180. Okay, we are clear on the left.
7595 for the kilo, 5 miles northwest of Square Lake at 3000 northbound.
Out to West Praxair Cardinal 34287, slow flight over the flooded farm fields, 2,500 feet, heading south. All right, I have that traffic in sight. Go ahead, keep bringing us around.
All right.
As soon as we turn a heading south, they should be no factor.
I don't see them, but you just see them.
I saw them. They were a little dot heading straight at us.
All right.
But they're within a mile now. 300 feet below us. No factor.
Okay. And we're going to go a little bit further.
Keep going.
There's south. All right.
There we go. There we go.
All right. So let's maintain 60, maintain south.
The west edge of Lake Point at 2,500 eastbound, Bravo.
Okay. Now on a heading of south, give me a climb up to 3,000 feet, and we're going to do a couple of power off stalls once we get up there.
Climb up to 3,000. Okay. Adding power.
I'm right behind you. I'm going to turn southbound.
Pitching for 60. A little more right rudder.
Yes, sir. Good? All good. Hey, man. Have a safe flight. Thank you. Done with Titus. Good job.
Traffic 600 Charlie is over the west side of Lake Point, set at 2,500 feet, Bravo traffic.
Charlie south traffic, back flight 535 at 1,000 feet, doing slow flight about 4 miles to the southeast of Elkhorn. Charlie south traffic.
South traffic, Skyflight 775 at 4,500 feet, preparing to head southbound for power on stall maneuver, and just south traffic.
Southwest Praxair Cardinal 34287 is over the flooded farm fields, 2,800 for 3,000 feet slow flight, heading south.
And we're coming up on 3,000. I'm going to pull back power to stop the climb.
India South Praxair 6124 Delta 2,500 mid-river eastbound, setting a 4.
Alright, I'll let you hold this for a second and then we'll recover. There we go. Alright, now keeping me on a heading of 180, let's recover.
Okay.
Delta North traffic, forward 27, headed back to Vero Beach.
Recover to cruise, back to cruise flight?
Back to cruise, yep.
Okay, recovery back to cruise flight. Okay, so we're going to want carb heat off.
Yep.
Lazy 8, or I should say 8's on.
We see power 21.
You can go to 23-ish or 25. Yeah, 23 to 25.
And pitch down.
Yep, maintain 3,000 and 180. Bring the flaps out. First notch, remember.
First notch flaps.
And we'll start speeding up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it out the second notch.
Okay, flaps 20.
Yep. And then at this point you can go all the way out.
Okay, and flaps 30.
Charlie is over the west side of Lake Point.
And bring it to 2123.
Alright. 21.
Hotel West Charlie, Cherokee 550 kilo, 4 miles south of Red Dome at 3000 northbound.
And pitching for altitude now.
Yes, sir.
Heading is still 180. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Give me a turn to the left on a heading north.
Turning north to the left. Okay, clear on the left.
Southbound to beam radiation.
Turning left.
Maneuvers, Indian West.
Fun today, a little bit of cloud action.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. A little bit of right rudder in the left turn.
North practice area, tech flight 648, setting up for ground ref over Kurtz Field, hotel traffic. Indian North traffic 654, Foxtrot Tango 2500 southbound over the ocean shoreline, doing slow flight. Indian North. South India South traffic, Skyflight 775 at 4800, flying southbound, preparing for maneuver, Alpha South India South traffic.
Hotel West Cherokee 550 kilo, 2 miles south of Red Dome.
Almost north. We're using the grid lines, but just get us on a heading.
There we go.
That's all right, no worries.
Right.
These things will bias you very quickly.
There's north.
Yeah, there we go. So go ahead and set us up for slow flight again, and then put us into a power off stall.
Okay. All right, slow flight. We want propeller full, carb heat on.
Yep.
Reduce power and pitch to maintain altitude while
Yep, we're going to
leading
maintain
off
3,000.
airspeed. I think I took out too much power. Okay.
That's all right.
Maintain 3,000. We're in the white arc. We can put our first notch of flaps.
Indian North traffic, take flight 654 is southbound turning southwest, 2,500, climbing 2,700, slow flight. Indian North.
All right. Flaps 20.
Bravo traffic 96 on for Delta, 4 nautical
Go ahead and go
miles
flaps
north of
30.
Red Dome, headed south at 2,000 feet.
Watch that there. Good. Get us to 60 or 65.
All right.
We'll just go to 60 actually, because that's where we're practicing at normally.
Okay. All right. So, continuing the pitch for 60.
Yep.
Charlie South traffic, Skyflight 555, about 4 miles to the west of Ellesmere, doing slow flight at
A little more right rudder.
Charlie South traffic.
All right. Oh, altitude.
Remember, when you add power, if you're trying to maintain altitude or increase altitude, naturally when you add power, the plane's going to accelerate a little bit. So you can pitch up as you add power.
Okay.
And then when you let out power, you can pitch down. So it does the inverse.
Okay.
2,500 beam Valkyria, slow flight.
All right.
And you're north and due south.
Delta West Practice Air Cardinal 34287 is just west of the flooded farm fields, 3,000 feet heading north, power off stalls. All right, so go ahead and give me a descent at 70 miles an hour.
Descent at 70. Okay, we need to speed up, so I'm going to add power. Well, I'm going to pitch down.
Ground reference maneuvers at 800 feet, Delta North.
There's 70.
Yeah, and to descend,
And
you might
descent,
have to pull out
I'm going to have
power.
to pull out power to descend.
Yep.
Bravo traffic Cherokee
Maintaining
550
heading up
miles
north.
of Red
Maintaining
Dome
heading up north,
at
okay.
2,000.
All right, once we get to 2,800 feet, execute the power off stall and the recovery.
Power off stall at 2,800, okay?
Bases are about
Yep, this will simulate our descent to landing.
3,500 feet, and tops looking like about 5,000, but again, scattered and plenty of holes. Plenty of holes, cool. We're trying to do some 6 miles over there. Yeah, I don't think you'll have a problem. There's some really big gaps. Great, thanks.
Alright, we're almost at 2,800, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull power to idle. I'm going to pitch, keep the nose on
Watch
the
your
horizon.
heading.
I hear the stall horn. There it goes.
Yep.
Keep pitching, keep pitching, keep...
Hospital 964.
There it is. Alright, full power, carb heat off. Alright. Airspeed is coming alive, flaps are coming out.
Can we get 1130?
And we're going to establish a positive rate of climb. Climb away from the danger. Remove that trim.
Say again?
There we go. That was within 200
right
feet,
rudder.
and you kept it on a heading of north. But let me show you something a little bit on your recovery here.
Okay.
All right, my controls.
All right, your controls.
So with these guys, you don't want the jam and the power full.
Okay.
Especially with a constant speed, because it takes a second for the engine to catch up. I don't think it really damages the mechanism, but it's just not going to make the engine too happy.
Okay.
So a stall is an emergent condition, but you don't want to just rapidly put everything in. So when you do the power off stall, make everything gentle and just kind of talk it out.
Okay.
Right? So I'll go ahead and put us back to 3,000 feet on a heading to south. And then I'll enter slow flight and show you, I'll just talk it out and then I'll have you do it again.
Okay.
Clouding up over here pretty quick. There's 3,000 I overshot, so just lower the nose. There we go.
Natalia, where are you?
I'm about to.
Alright, and see I did the same thing. I was biased by the grid lines. So let me go back to a heading south.
Okay.
There we go. So we'll go into slow flight, right? So carb heat, prop full, and hold 3,000, and a heading south.
15-minute 2 back for ADC delays.
Let me get back to 15 there. Then we're in the white arc, so we can just go full. And just adjusting the power as necessary.
North practice area, tech flight 6481 miles to the north end of the flooded farm fields, headed back to Melbourne at 1,500 feet southwest.
Alright, let's pull out the power a little bit, descend back to 3,000 and aim for 60. Bit of power.
Eagle Hospital 453.
Back on a heading south. Alright. So once we're on our heading south, 3,000 feet, 60 miles an hour, we're just going to go ahead and lower the nose. Pitch for 70. Bring out the power as required and get the descent. 2,800.
Traffic 75 kilo 55 northwest of at 2,000.
Sometimes it takes a little bit to get these things to descend. They're like kites.
Is northwest bound at 4,500 over
2,800, power idle, hold the nose back, and heading south.
The beam, barefoot base outbound, mid-river, 2,500, power.
Alright, there's a stall. Just let the nose down, right rudder, and gently let the nose out. 20,
southwest of
climb away from danger, 30, 10,
Hotel West traffic.
0. And I'll do that one more time. Did you feel the rudder input too, as I was going in with that? And then you can climb away at like a normal takeoff configuration. So I'll put us on a heading of west just to get us away from these clouds and back up to 3,000 feet.
So more traffic, flight 661, southwest bound, just west over the east end, 3,800, going from stalls, Delta North.
Point at 2,000 unusual altitude, Bravo traffic.
Pushing, they're using 29er.
Sorry?
Oh, wrong one. That's why we always look too. I was doing the mixture. Don't want to do that one.
2000, climbing to 3000.
I'll richen that one up a little bit. And we'll go back to 21 inches. There we go. There we go. Once we get past these clouds here, we'll try that again.
Northbound, doing maneuvers along Ocean shoreline. Hotel East traffic, Skyhawk 1947 Foxtrot, a beam, Valkyria at 1,500.
That's the only thing with the clouds. It's fun flying around them, but it's not great when doing maneuvers because you have to be clear of them. Don't want it to stall into the cloud.
Right.
Right.
Shoreline to the north and to the pattern for Valkyria, Hotel East, India South traffic.
Alright, so here we are again. Just remember, car beat,
Okay.
prop full, 15 inches. Doesn't take a whole lot. And then in the white arc, flaps 10, flaps 20, flaps 30.
Okay.
And if you have to reduce more power, the quicker you do this, the quicker you get into slow flight. Right? We're just pitching for 60 and 3,000 feet, maintaining our heading. So I came off 5 degrees to the south there, so I'll correct that.
India South traffic, tech flight 654
Trim is necessary.
Mid-river, a beam, Barefoot Bay, 2,500, doing steep turns, India South.
There we go. So 60 miles an hour, 3,000 feet, 270. We're going to go ahead, lower the nose, and reduce power.
You head to abandon? I'll make 360. 450.
Alright, there's 70 miles an hour, and descend to 2,800 feet.
Follow behind you. The North Travis Flight 438 is over top of the sod farms, 8-pound pylons.
2,800 feet, power idle, pitch up, 270.
1,500, 4 miles southeast of Lake Pointed. That's called.
Alright, there's the stall. So just let the nose forward, gently, flaps 20 out, flaps 20 immediately, and then as soon as your airspeed starts building, you can start climbing away, and it's safe again. Right? And then just get us back on a heading of 270. And that's all it takes. And we only descended maybe 250 feet. Actually, yeah, it was 150. So I'll bring us back to a heading of east, 3,000 feet, and I'll hand you over the controls, and I'll have you get us into slow flight.
Okay.
Once we're stable in slow flight, then we'll go ahead and start the stall procedure.
Okay.
Alright, there's 3,000 feet.
Is over the ocean shoreline northbound. We're going to be joining the pattern of lock area. Last call to India South.
Alright, I'll get us back up to 3,000 feet real quick. There we go. Your controls?
Alright, my controls.
Alright, remember heading east, 090,
Okay.
and then we're going to get into slow flight, hold 3,000.
Okay. Alright, so slow flight. Prop full.
Yep.
Reduce power.
Don't forget carb heat.
Carb heat on.
Right, 3,000, go.
Alright, we can put in flaps.
Traffic 270 Charlie is 1 mile west of Lake Point, set at 800 and ground rest maneuvers, Bravo traffic.
India South traffic, tech flight 654, 2,600, mid-river, northbound, a beam, Barefoot Bay, doing Chandel to the south, India South.
Charlie South traffic, number 9614 Delta, 4 nautical miles north of
Blue Cypress, headed south at 1,500 feet.
Southwest 32 Echo is at 3.
Alright, so I'm having a little trouble getting to 60 without losing altitude. Alright, a little more power?
No worries.
Indian North traffic, there's one.
Yeah, just a little more power. You keep adding power if you need. Remember, as you add power, you can pitch back because you're going to accelerate.
Indian North.
I have an idea here real quick. My controls?
Okay. Alright, your controls.
My controls. So, we'll practice something really quick, and I think this will help you out. See, we'll just keep it 3,000 feet, and we'll go to the north.
South traffic, Skyflight 60 mounted at 4,500. Northwest of Fellsmere going southeastbound, doing power on stalls. Charlie South traffic. Can you South traffic 65654 or mid-river south?
Alright, so we're going to try and maintain a heading in north.
200 doing emergency.
And we're just going to practice getting in and getting out of slow flight and maintaining the same altitude, right? So once we're on a heading in north, it usually helps if we have a reference picked out to follow. So even if it's a cloud, even though clouds move slightly, that's fine. So I'm picking that one up that's kind of standing right up in front of us.
Okay.
Right? 3,000 feet, we're in cruise configuration. We're going to go carb heat, prop, power, and just hold 3,000. We're in the white arc, you can just dump the flaps.
Bravo traffic, White Cherokee 67 and Echo Theater. Lake Point at 3,000 feet, eastbound.
60 miles an hour, start applying power and pitching back.
1,005 Bravo.
Right, and right rudder. So if you get too slow, pitch down. If you're too high, like I am, power out. So it's just a delicate dance, right? I'm still flying towards that cloud, even though it's not quite on north. I'm going to get back to north. There we go. So in this case, I'm slightly fast and I'm slightly low. So all I have to do is pitch back and apply a little bit of power, but even as I apply power, I can pitch back a good bit. We're propeller full. There we go.
Okay.
And we start climbing. And then when I let out power, I can let the nose down. And see how I'm trying to maintain 60 the whole time?
Right.
And I start descending again. So pitch for 60, even in power full. All right, a little bit too much pitch there. Let me get it back to 3,000 feet.
India South, Hotel East.
All right, once we get to 3,000 feet, reduce the power. And you have to be ginger with it sometimes to really figure out what it takes for the aircraft to stay at that. And it's hard also when you don't trim properly. So like I'm getting slow right now, so let the nose down a little bit. And we start descending, so add a little bit of power. And you find what it takes. So, and then of course to recover, we'll just go carbine out, apply power, a little bit of right rudder, flaps 20 out, flaps 10, flaps 0, and then maintaining 3,000 feet and 360 on the heading. Right, you'll find that you have to apply more forward stabulator pressure. And then once we catch up in airspeed, we can reduce 21, 23. There we go. And it'll catch up to about 110 eventually. And then just going back into slow flight. So still 360 or 000, carb heat, prop, power, flaps in the white arc. 3,000 feet, maintain north. Right. And as you apply power, you'll need right rudder. Once we're in it, we'll let it stabilize for a second, adjusting as needed, and once we nail everything, we'll get back out of it. So, carbine out, lower the nose, apply power, flaps 20, flaps 10, flap 0, and don't lose our heading or altitude. There we go, back to 3,000, lower the nose again. Speed starts catching up, we reduce 21 inches,
northbound at 4,000.
and 23.
Over Bellsmere, doing power off stalls, Charlie South traffic.
There we go. So we can do this as many times as we need. I'm going to go ahead and give us a turn to the south here.
South traffic, Delta North traffic, Skyfly 428, we're going to be headed over to the south line for 8 south pylons, Charlie South, north.
We can do this at 2,000 feet here. So I'll also give us a, well, see what this guy's doing. They're probably over Kurtz Field. Actually, we are over Kurtz Field. They're just coming back to Kurtz Field. It's the field right below us, and it's named after our instructor. Anytime he comes here, he basically kicks everybody out. It's kind of funny.
Southbound, deep turns, 4200, Charlie South.
So I'll just let them go that way while we go this way for a second.
North Skyfly 526 can be doing ground reference maneuvers.
Oh, there he is.
Just north of the turn.
There we go.
Delta North traffic.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was Kurt flying. And he literally does a death circle and he won't say anything. And people will just get nervous and leave. Just because of proximity. Like, okay, this guy's not leaving. Okay, so I'll bring us down to 2,000 feet and we'll have a little bit of fun with it. We'll go carbide, reduce power. We'll just go into a bank gently and let it come down as it naturally would.
Southeast traffic, tech flight 654 is 1,200 descending.
So staying coordinated, there we go.
Just north of the canal, doing S turns, southeast.
Planes are fun when you have fun in them. Alright, so here's 2,000 feet. So I'll just hold the nose off. Slowly apply power again.
Sorry, South Travis Skyflight 659. We are just about 2 miles to the northeast of Blue Cypress over the man-made lakes here. Setting up for simulated emergency approach to land, setting out at 4,500 feet, Charlie South.
I'll get this one heading to south.
Traffic, this is Charlie. Charlie is 1 mile south of Lake Point, says at 1,500 heading eastbound to Marriott Bravo traffic.
Go. Oh, I was watching the wrong thing. Sometimes fancy avionics aren't always the best, but there we go. 2,000 feet and heading south.
Okay.
So I want you to go ahead. It's a little rough out here, so you're going to be a little bit bouncing around with your altitude and a little bit with your airspeed, but that's okay. So we're in good trim right now. Go ahead and put me in slow flight on a heading of 180.
Okay.
60 miles an hour and 2,000 feet.
All right, my controls.
Your controls.
All right. Slow flight at 2,000 feet on a heading of south. Okay. So I'm going to apply carb heat.
Yep.
Power, full propeller.
Reduce 15.
Reduce power to 15 inches while maintaining altitude. All right. Speed is in the white arc. First notch of flaps. 20-degree flaps. 30-degree flaps. And there's 60.
And remember, apply power, also start descending.
Here we are starting to descend. Okay.
Delta North traffic, number 9614 Delta, 4 nautical miles north of turn.
We're doing good on the heading.
South is 1,500 feet.
Airspeed.
60.
Yep, and then add a little bit of power.
More power to get back up to...
Alright, a little bit more right rudder. We turn to the left there.
6 miles west of Okeechobee, heading northbound 5,500.
There we go.
Traffic Skyflight 659 is setting out at 3,000 feet, setting up for...
And there, I'm going to start reducing power as we're approaching. Alright. Pitching for 60 again.
There we go.
Okay, let me get that trimmed. Okay.
Alright, now go ahead and recover on a heading of 180.
Recover on a heading of 180. Okay,
2,000 feet.
Okay, so I'm going to take carb heat out.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to increase power. Take out first notch of flaps.
There we go.
Flaps 10. Flaps out. Alright, we're coming up on 100. Alright, so 21 inches. And 2,300.
There we go.
Alright, altitude's still a little bit high.
Alright, go ahead, since we're at 2,000 feet, and put us back on a heading of 180, and then put us back into slow flight again.
Alright.
And watch your manifold pressures. When you do it, you're going to power idle. Let's try and keep it at 15.
Alright, 180. Okay, so back into slow flight. I'm going to want carb heat.
Yep.
Color full. Manifold pressure to 1,500.
Yep.
Well,
or 15 inches.
15 inches.
Watch your heading.
And back to south. Maintaining altitude. Alright, we can start putting in flaps. Flaps 20. Go ahead, full flaps.
Yep.
Pitching for 60.
Other check. Got it, sir. Thank you.
A little more power because we're descending. Open
Yep.
right rudder. For 60. There's 60.
South Travis, Flight 69 is over Bellsmere at 900, climbing to 1,200, doing 8 on pylons. Charlie, South Traffic.
South traffic number 39 Bella, 4 miles south of the bridge at 2,500.
Alright. My controls real quick.
Alright, your controls.
My controls. I'm going to keep it in slow flight here. Thank you, sir. And I'm going to bring it 60 miles an hour, 2,000 feet. And I'm going to bring us over to the north again. Alright, we're going to do a little rudder coordination game.
Okay.
I like this exercise because it really puts you to focus on your feet, especially in slow flight. So my controls accept the rudder. You'll have the rudder.
Alright.
So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see here. Let me get us back on a heading of north. Let's see, there we go. 360. Let me get us back to 60 miles an hour. So we are 352, so I got to bring us over. So your control's on the rudder.
Alright, my control's on the rudder.
Just keep the ball coordinated. So you see that left turning tendency?
Yeah.
So go ahead and put more right rudder in.
Okay.
traffic, Skyflight.
So all I'm doing is holding the wings level,
700,
right? But the directional control's all by the rudder at this point because of that left turning tendency.
Okay.
So this thing has a lot of left turning tendency, especially when I apply power. You can probably feel it. Like I'm just going to smoothly apply power real quick.
Okay.
Skyflight 773.
Do you feel that? It wants to pull to the left immediately.
All right.
And when I let out the power, it stops that left turning tendency.
Skyflight 209, you up?
So let's try the opposite here.
Okay.
All right, so my controls fully for a second.
All right, your controls.
So you're going to keep us at 60 knots and 2,000 feet.
Okay.
I'm going to keep us on a heading of north with the rudder, just so you can see. So all I want you to do is hold the wings level.
All right.
So wings level, your controls.
All right.
On the throttle.
My controls on the throttle.
All right. You can put your feet flat on the floor.
Okay.
So just keep the wings level.
Over Prism for northbound at 2,500.
All right.
All right, so we're banking a little bit to the right. Yep, so just keep the wings level. Yep, and you can use the cowling as a reference. And I'm just going to coordinate the rudder. And you'll see we were banking over to the left again. This thing does love to turn to the right.
One at a time, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, bank us slightly to the left so we get back on a heading of north, and I'll coordinate the rudder for you. And once we get on the heading of north, put wings level.
South traffic, Skyflight 426.
And keep wings level, so the directional control is what keeps the aircraft going north, or straight on the heading. Or so the rudder is really important in slow flight for this reason. And this airplane loves to drop the right wing. So you always have to have a little bit of left aileron pressure. But look at that, if you don't change anything, right, maybe just let it out a little bit, there we go. Then bring it back to the left again, or a little more left aileron, there we go. So I'm just coordinating the rudder to whatever your input is on the aileron, because anytime you move the aileron, the rudder has to move in the same direction. So my controls real quick.
All right, your controls.
So if I were to suddenly just move the aileron over to the right, like watch this, ready, without moving the rudder.
Okay.
The ball immediately went to the floor.
Okay.
So whenever you're doing that, you should always go, so the practice is, and same thing to the left. You should always be moving the ball with the aileron. So I want you to think more on your feet, and we can do some practice. Let's see, we're good on time here. We can do some coordination practice on the way back. Where are we? We're good. And I'll head us over to the east here. I'll bring us back 60 miles an hour and 2,000 feet. But I want to practice getting in and out of slow flight and maintaining the same altitude. If we can prevent the altitude from really ballooning in the heading, we're golden. And then it'll actually make stalling a lot easier. So, pitch for 60. Right.
Flavia, you up?
Pitching for 60, and because of our power, we're climbing a little bit.
Oh, good.
And then we start reducing power just a little bit.
Can I go to Takeoff? Could you try another full stop? What? Near South traffic 479, go 2,000.
All right, so there we go, 6,000 feet, or sorry, 60 miles an hour, 2,000 feet. And then remember on the recovery, carb it out, prop's already full, increase power, you're going to have to lower the nose and increase the right rudder pressure.
Headed eastbound, arcing southeast of the number
20,
on the ACME.
30.
Hotel East.
And as the speed builds, just let the speed build up. We're maintaining altitude and our heading. Take some trim out. And then start reducing 21, 23. Okay.
Okay.
So your controls, keep us on a heading 090.
All right, my controls.
Your controls, bring us to slow flight, 60 miles an hour and 2,000 feet while maintaining that heading. And just talk it out, remember?
All right.
So slow on everything, make smooth.
All right, slow flight. So we're going to go full prop.
Yep.
Carb heat. Reduce power to 15 inches. Maintaining altitude.
So you dropped to 12 there, so back to 15. There we go, that's perfect.
15, maintaining altitude. We can start to put in flaps.
And you can go
I can go full flaps because we're right well in the arc. Okay.
Alright.
And here comes 60, so pitching for 60.
Add some power.
Add some power.
Pitch back.
Pitch back.
Pitch more.
North Skyflight 653, 2,000 feet.
Right, rudder.
Alright, there's 60.
Turnpike, slow flight westbound, Delta North traffic.
A little more power.
Whenever you're in slow flight or the region of reverse command, pitch is your airspeed, power is your altitude. There we go. 093, 60 miles an hour, 2,000 feet.
Okay.
So go ahead and recover and keep us at 2,000 feet on the heading of east.
Alright, so recover. I'm going to do carb heat off.
Yep.
Barefoot Bay at 2,800 over the
we go ahead and
Power first. There we go.
add power.
Yep.
Start pulling out flaps, 20. Flaps 10.
Yep. Go ahead and start reducing that manifold pressure to 21 inches and 2,300 RPM once we get to 21 inches. There we go. Good.
Okay.
We've stayed within 10 degrees of east. We'll go ahead and do it again. Let's go back into slow flight.
Alright,
We should be at your
back into slow flight. Okay. Step one, we're going to do
inside, we'll maneuver at
full
your
propeller.
Yep.
Carb heat. Reduce power to
15.
15 while maintaining altitude.
Alright, watch your heading.
And heading. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start, we're going to go full flaps. Pitching for 60. Losing altitude, so I'm going to add a little bit of power. Pitching for 60. Right rudder. Oops, climbing a little bit, so
No worries. And usually your heading, especially in slow flight, is due to the ball.
okay.
Gotta especially watch that ball.
And we're still climbing. There we go.
That's alright, so just pull power out a little bit and then hold for, you might have to lower the nose a little bit to maintain 60. But that's okay. Remember, this controls your airspeed. And as you apply power, you'll have to bring the nose back.
South Skyflight 661, simulated in and out over Ellesmere, 3,000, look out below.
Coffee number 39 at Hotel 7 miles south of the Cypress Lake for northeast bound at 2,500.
Alright, recover.
Alright, so
You don't have to go full power. Usually 24 to 25 is okay on the manifold pressure. Just take the carb heat out.
okay, so carb heat out.
Yep. Lower the nose. And then take flaps 30 to 20.
Flaps 20.
Right. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
And flap 0.
Flap 0.
And you're retrimming the airplane because you have all that up elevator pressure. There we go. And then 21 inches, or undershoot by a little bit, and then 23.
Bravo traffic, Port Cruiser 3,000 feet over point set, slow flight.
There we go.
Alright, and back to east, alright.
Yep. Give us a heading of south now.
Heading of southbound, okay. Clear on the right.
Clear on the right.
Turning right. That ball.
That's alright.
I turned right and applied right rudder, but then saw the ball shoot to the left.
So, and that's the other thing I like to do with this exercise here. So we're within maneuvering speed. And I'll show you something here.
Here's south.
Yep.
Alright. Your controls?
My controls. So, whenever this moves, it moves not like a dramatic amount, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you want to feel the rudder with me as I do these inputs,
yeah.
So we'll go ahead, and as soon as I pull left aileron, I have to apply left rudder. So I want to keep the ball centered.
Yeah.
So I'm just, right, that was too much a little bit. That's way too much. There we go. And then opposite control pressure, right and to the right. So that was too much to the right. There we go. So it's really, you're feeling your differential pressure with your feet almost. And then you go back to the left. And as long as you can keep that ball centered, making all these changing bank angles here. Right, so we come over to the right, reduce a little bit of the pressure.
Okay, traffic, check flight
And then, if I wanted to go wings level, the goal is I want to keep this always centered. And you can really feel the aircraft, how it responds to rudder. This requires a little less rudder than the 172 does. The rudder control is actually pretty effective, except in the stalls, power on stalls especially. But, yeah, so I want you to give that a try.
All right.
Altitude we're just going to maintain around 2,000 feet,
okay.
But just go ahead and gently rock the wings back and forth and keep the ball centered.
All right, okay, so clear left.
Remember, they're supposed to move together. So that's the one thing. You're moving them, I can feel it, a little opposite. Right, so if you wanted to roll the wings level, you'd apply the same direction of that. Even if you're in a left, or if you're in a right-hand turn, and you want to roll the wings level, left rudder, left aileron. They always move together. Alright, wings level here, so left rudder, left aileron. Good. Now give me a bank to the left slightly. That was too much left rudder, but that's okay. So that means you have to slowly apply a little bit of the left rudder. And remember, to the left we have the left turning tendency, so you don't need as much left rudder as you would in a right-hand turn.
Alright, okay.
So go ahead, wings level here. Alright, and then give me a turn to the right. So you need a little bit more right rudder pressure compared to the left-hand turns.
Yeah.
Alright, and remember, wings level here. Together. Good. Now give me a left-hand turn again. So not as much left rudder needed in the left turn. There we go. Level them out, so right rudder, right aileron. Right turn. Right rudder, right aileron. Too much right rudder there. There we go. Level of wings, opposite. There we go. Left turn, not as much left rudder, remember. Alright, level the wings. Left, or right rudder, right aileron, then right turn, right rudder, right aileron. And then level the wings, follow in the lake here. There we go. So I like that exercise because it really, you have to try and connect your hand to your feet.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing because it's not only a control of how much roll you have, because the more roll you have, the more induced drag you have on that wing that's being raised. So you have to fight it with rudder control, but also power too. right? When you increase power, you need more right rudder.
Okay,
When you decrease power, you sometimes actually need a little bit of left rudder. So it's controlling or connecting your feet to your hands. But go ahead, give me a turn to the north here, just following the grid lines.
Okay, turn to the north.
Right, clear to the right.
Okay.
So remember rudder and, yep. What do you think of that exercise?
I like that. Yeah, I like that. We're not descending here. Sure we're not climbing.
So when you do S-turns and all these other aerial maneuvers, it really works your coordination skills.
Sure.
So good, we're following the grid lines here. Go ahead and put me in slow flight, 2,000 feet, and we'll go heading of north, 0, 0, 0.
All right.
There we go. 2,000 feet, heading of north.
All right, slow flight. All right, so I'm going to go full prop.
Yep.
Carb heat. Reduced to 15 inches of manifold. Maintaining altitude. Alright, we can go ahead and put in flaps 10, flaps 20.
Yep.
Flaps 30.
Watch your heading.
Alright, pitching for 60. And there's 60. A little more power because we're descending.
And it's okay if you descend a little bit because you're above anyway, right? So
okay.
just let one thing kind of catch up at a time unless things are happening fast. But good.
There's 60. And I added power, so I need more right rudder.
All right, go ahead and recover.
All right, so recover. Carb heat comes off.
24 inches is fine.
Noted. 24 inches.
Lower the nose. There we go.
Alright. Flaps 10. Flaps 20.
Police traffic, take flight 654, 3,500 westbound, 4 miles west of Valkyria, head back to...
And then 2123.
To do some approaches, last call, Hotel East.
Dr. Westpac, Sierra Cardinal 34287's over the flooded farm fields, 2,000 feet, slow flight heading north. Okay, so keeping us on the heading of north, go ahead and do it again. Let's go into slow flight.
Alright, slow flight again. Okay. Colorful.
Yep.
Carb heat.
15.
Power to 15.
Yep.
While maintaining 2,000 feet.
And north.
And north. I'm going to go ahead and put in 10 degrees of flaps. 20 degrees of flaps. Full flaps. Alright, there's 60.
Go check.
Unclear.
Hotel West traffic, take flight 653. Oh. 653 southwest of the farm field, heading northbound. Hotel West traffic.
Alright, recover.
Alright, recover. Carb heat off.
Yep.
Increase power.
Remember, slowly, gently.
Slowly, okay.
Yep.
Flaps are coming out.
Do each thing with a purpose, one at a time.
Okay. Flaps 10. 0. Alright, 2100 and, 21 inches manifold pressure.
Fuel 2000, heading eastbound, doing slow flight, Hotel West traffic.
And 2300 RPM.
Yep. So my controls for a second.
Alright, your control.
My controls. So when you're entering slow flight, same thing like the stalls, you just want to be gentle and slow with it. So here we are, 2,000 feet. We'll go ahead, carb heat, prop full, and just reduce to 15. Once I confirm that's 15, right, if I keep the pitch attitude more or less the same, altitude's not going anywhere. Start slowing up, there's 10, 20, and then 30. And if you have to reduce the power a little bit more, that's fine, but we're trying to keep north at 3,000 feet. So once I get to 60, which if I held my nose back, I'd get there. See how I descended a little bit?
Yeah.
Start applying that power and automatically start applying right rudder. Lower the nose a little bit. Right. Watch what happens. So I'm just going to let go of the rudder, but I'm going to keep wings level.
Okay.
Wings are level. And we're starting to drift.
Bravo traffic number 39.
Alright.
10 miles
So that's the, and if I add power,
northbound at 2,500.
see that?
Yeah.
It's just bringing it around itself. So that's why we have to have right rudder control. And that was almost 15 degrees of heading change, just with that little exercise there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us back to a heading of north, 60 miles an hour. And then I'll recover, turn to the south, and I'll give the controls to you.
Okay.
So, and then same thing on the recovery, just slow and gentle. So, we'll go ahead, carb heat out, 24 inches of manifold pressure. Let that nose come down, flaps 20. We start accelerating. Right, flaps 10, flap 0. And then once the speed starts building up, you'll notice that you have to trim down a little bit, 21 inches or undershoot a little bit, and then go to 23. Gently. Alright,
okay.
Turn to the south.
West bend in the turnpike stalls. Hotel West traffic 6 flight 653 over the solar panel, 2000 heading westbound, slow fly, Hotel West traffic.
Highway South, Skyflight 661 over Fells, mirror simulated engine out, 1500.
South Skyflight 439, right over the river, headed northbound, just east of Sebastian.
The delicate balance between science and art manipulating this machine. Alright, 2,000 feet, 080 on the heading. Your controls?
Alright, my controls.
Remember, 080, 2,000 feet, go ahead and enter slow flight.
Alright, slow flight. Okay, propeller full. Carb heat. Reduce power to 15 inches. Manifold pressure.
Alright.
A little bit too far. Alright, flaps. Alright, flaps, full flaps.
Alright, watch your heading.
Bravo traffic number 390, 6 miles south of the Radom for northbound at 2,500.
Keeping those wings level there, so I can always feel that this thing's a little bit heavy to the right.
Traffic 579,
Alright, a little bit more right rudder.
2,000 feet, setting up the steep turn.
There we go. Left aileron, right rudder. That's wings level right there.
Okay.
And pitch for 60. Add a little bit of power.
Bravo traffic 944 Sierra over Radoma at 4,800 descending to 3,500, heading northbound.
Okay. That's good. Now while in slow flight, give me a turn to the left here.
Alright, turn to the left. Clear on the left?
Clear on the left.
Alpha South, India South, Skyfly 550.
Remember, because we're in slow flight, the left turning T's are, more, so we don't need as much left rudder in the left turn. 60 miles an hour, 2,000 feet, good.
Skyfly 550, Skyfly 439, we have you inside. We are just behind you.
And what heading are we going for?
Roger that.
Right about here. That's fine.
Alright.
Yep, I know I didn't give you a heading. We're just trying to get back to the abandoned.
Okay.
And giving it a chance to maneuver in slow flight. That's good.
I'm going to add a little bit of power because we're a little low on altitude. A little bit of right rudder.
Keep those wings level, which is good. I know this thing is, it's kind of a mix of everything, but this feels really good right here. Just get an idea of the sight picture too. Okay. You can use your postural consideration. You can feel the forces when an airplane is not flying quite level or quite coordinated. Have that traffic out there, they're no factor.
Okay, I see him.
All right. So while you're flying in slow flight, I'll go ahead and get the ATIS for us.
All right.
09, visual approaching use, landing, departing runway 9 left, 9 right, and runway 5. Approaches are conducted to parallel, converging, and diverging runways. VFR departures advise ground and tower, call sign and direction of flight. IFR departures advise IFR each and every time. Runway 9 right, ILS out of service. Advise on initial contact of information November. Melbourne International Airport information, November 1453 Zulu, wind 040 at 7, visibility 10, clouds scattered 2,400, temperature 30, dew point 23, altimeter 3009, visual approaching use, landing, departing runway 9 left, 9 right, and
I have the weather information,
approaches are connected.
And I'll make a radio call. West Cardinal 34287 is over the flooded farm fields, entering the street patterns at 2,000 feet, flying back to the abandoned Hotel West. Okay, so we've got that, we've got tower set. When you want, you can recover. So, remember, slowly each thing at a time, so carb heat out.
Alright, so carb heat coming off.
Right.
Alright, increasing power to 2,300.
Yep, or 24 inches manifold pressure.
24 inches, flaps out.
20.
Flaps 20.
Lower the nose. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
And you can pull it, flaps all the way up now.
Flaps 0.
Retrim as necessary. And 21 inches manifold, 23 on the prop. Looking for traffic ahead of us. Give us a turn slightly to the left here. 21 and 23. That's good. There's no factor now. I don't see where he is though. Oh, he's over there.
Oh, I see him.
That's fine. Alright, do you see the abandoned airport up there?
I do, yep. Alright.
We're just going to fly right to that. And as we're flying over there, let's go ahead and complete a descent checklist.
Alright, descent mixture adjust.
Alright, we're going to leave it there.
Gonna leave a mixture there, okay.
Yep.
Power as required.
We are good.
Okay, carb heat is required, we have it off. We've obtained ATIS.
Yes, we have.
Alright.
Information November, landing 9, left and right. And 5, so hopefully they can give us 5 actually, that'd be preferable.
Over the Treasure VOR at 1,500.
Oh.
Delta South traffic number 9674, 4 nautical miles south of prison, headed north at 1,200 feet.
How do you feel about today, man?
I feel pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that rudder coordination thing is something that's learned with time.
Yeah.
what actually helps a lot is chair flying. It's just thinking, whenever I'm applying aileron control, I'm applying that same rudder pressure. Even when correcting for, let's say, turbulence, right? Let's say the right wing gets bumped up for whatever reason. So you lower the right aileron, but you're always also applying right rudder pressure. And so when you do that, it actually keeps the airplane flying in a straight line just for a brief moment before it starts turning.
Charlie South, Flight 663 is on you west and Blue Cypress simulated engine.
Alright, I'll go ahead and switch this over to tower. So it appears that just hitting the mic button switches both comm and mic.
Tower, Baron 3199 Juliet, ready to go, 9 left deck, kilo.
Baron 3199 Juliet, Melbourne Tower, runway 9 left, clear for takeoff, proceed on course.
Takeoff and on course, 99J, thanks.
99 Juliet, if you're able, overfly runway 5 midfield. I'm going to have traffic departing that runway if you can do it.
We'll overfly midfield.
So I can see runway 5 here, hopefully it gives us straight into 5.
That runway straight out.
99J.
Flight 636, traffic on a 3-mile base. There will be traffic overflying your runway midfield of Barron, runway 5, clear for takeoff. Turn right, heading 100.
Right, heading 100, runway 5, clear for takeoff, and we'll focus on the traffic. Flight 236.
Melbourne Tower, Cardinal 34287 over, abandoned information, November, full stop FIT.
Cardinal 34287, Melbourne Tower, make a straight in, runway 5. Runway 5, clear to land. As you get about 3 miles from the airport, there's going to be traffic climbing out off the approach N9 right at Cherokee, climbing out of 1,000. I'll point them out as you get a little closer. Clear to land, runway 5.
Runway 5, clear to land, 34287. Okay, so I can see runway 5 right there. Go ahead and apply carb heat.
Alright, carb heat.
Alright, and I'd say reduced to about 18.
Clear to St. Pete, as filed. Climb maintain 2,000.
18.
Expect 6,000 in 10 minutes.
And we'll just keep the nose down a little bit, and we'll start a gentle descent.
Walk 1037.
And you can descend at about 110's fine.
November, reback, correct?
Pretty soon we're going to start doing takeoff and landing practice as well.
Runway 5, it's a Cherokee.
Tight, 99J.
Roger that. And then Juliet, I have another one on about a 4 mile straight in to runway 5, descending out of 1700 at your 1 o'clock and 2 miles.
Keep an eye out for him, 99 Juliet.
Roger that.
Window 5 Tango Papa, we clear to land.
5 Tango Papa is clear to land, runway 5.
Land runway 5, 5 Tango Papa.
Flight 636, heading 100, contact Orlando departure.
Heading 100, contact Orlando departure, flight 636, thank you.
Cardinal 287, traffic at your 1 o'clock, and about a mile and a half, turning southwestbound to Barron, climbing out at 2,000.
We have traffic inside 34287.
Roger that.
Alright, go ahead, reduce the power to about 17 or 16. Alright. And pitch that nose up a little bit.
Approach traffic 2 miles south of you. Inbound to runway 5 at Cardinal, descending out of 1400.
Starting at mist, headed 220. We'll keep an eye out for that traffic. Check flight 654.
Alright, once we're in the white arc, and we keep this pitch attitude.
Traffic coming off 9 right that I told you about earlier is at your 10 to 11 o'clock now at 2 miles, turning southwestbound, climbing out of 1,000 for 2,000 Cherokee.
And negative on the traffic, 34287, but we'll look out for him. Alright, go ahead and reduce a little bit more power to about 14.
Check flight 654, thank you. Contact Orlando.
Actually, 13 is fine. Go ahead, apply flaps 10.
Number 287, they've got you sight off your left.
287.
For 5 Tango Papa, you said FIT, Romeo Fox Victor to FIT.
Romeo Fox Victor to FIT, 5 Tango Papa.
Alright, pitch the nose up just a little bit. We're going to pitch for about 85.
Flight 436, RNAV runway
Flaps 20.
Right, requesting a touch and go.
Flaps 20.
Alright, let that nose down a little bit.
I have your request for the touch and go. We normally don't do touch and goes on 9 right. We normally do that on 9 left. I have your request.
And let's go ahead and hit flaps 30. Alright, I'll teach you something about approaches here. So we're aiming, because it's a shorter runway, I'm actually aiming for the 9.
Ground 9 left,
right.
you might kilo.
Alright, you're aiming for what?
Aiming for the runway, the number. So I'm aiming for the number.
Okay.
Right, if the cowling stays in the same position, we're flying right towards it, everything else should be good here. So my controls real quick.
Alright, your controls.
I'll show you here, right? So let's get back in line, and I will pitch for now 75 to 70 is fine. We're a little high, as you can see by the VASI.
Okay.
So 75 is right there, and I'm just aiming for the number 9.
6124
If we're too high, we pull out some power, let it descend. And our pitch controls our airspeed.
436, if we can do a touch and go on 9 right, is there any way we could like circle to 9 left? We just need a landing to...
We're still high, but that's okay. I can always pull out more power. So I did.
So 3118, they got you released at 3-4, time now 2-5.
So I'm aiming for 5 still, adding a little power because we're sinking.
Runway 9 right, clear touch and go.
Alright, and then we start
touch and go, thank you, Skyflight 436.
rolling out a little bit, and we let the power come in down to the flare. Once we're in ground effect, power out.
1061 X-ray
And we'll just
ground, runway 9
hold,
left,
there we
Mike
go.
Kilo.
And hold that nose off.
Cardinal 287, left at Romeo, Romeo Fox Victor to FIT, you can stay with me.
Romeo Fox, Victor FIT is staying with you, 34287.
All right. Ground, follow the Cessna ahead of you, runway 9 or left.
Romeo, here's Foxtrot. Let's get the
You got it.
taxi diagram up. There we go. Romeo Fox, Victor.
6 November, follow the traffic ahead of you, runway 9 or left.
Oops, sorry.
That's alright.
Get that wind correction in there.
3118, cross runway 5 at Alpha.
Alright, let's go ahead and run a post-landing checklist as well.
Alright, after landing, flaps retract.
Go ahead.
Mixture lean. How lean do we go on that?
That's fine right there.
Okay.
Yep.
Landing light as required. Do we turn it off?
Yep.
And carb heat off.
739 Delta Bravo, Melbourne Tower, overfly, runway 5 midfield, and you can proceed on course, runway 9 or left, clear for takeoff.
Melbourne Tower, 479 Echo, over abandoned with November, full stop by 5.
4791 Echo, Melbourne Tower, just overfly the field for me, outer above 1500, and then enter left downwind to 9 left on the north side.
Overfly the field at 1500 and we'll enter the left downwind on the north side for 9 left, 479 Echo.
Thanks, I got several inbound to 9 right and 9 left on the straight end.
Okay.
Tower, 6124 Delta, holding short of 9 left on Kilo, ready for departure.
3424 Delta, Melbourne Tower, you'll just follow that Cessna ahead of you.
See here, where's that windsock? There it is, so kind of a quartering tailwind. Go opposite here.
Say again for 6124 Delta.
6124 Delta, overfly runway 5 midfield, then proceed on course, runway 9 or left, clear for takeoff.
Overfly runway 5 midfield, 9 or left.
Guys getting busy.
For takeoff, 6124 Delta.